Sometimes life does not need to be fixed. It needs to be reset. Not in a dramatic way, not by escaping everything you know, but by returning to first principles. The Stoics believe that when life feels heavy, confused, or directionless, it is usually because we have drifted away from what truly matters. We chase what is outside our control. We neglect our inner discipline, and we forget that peace is something practiced, not found. These 15 principles are not rules. They are anchors. They are meant to help you start fresh, not by becoming someone new, but by becoming someone clearer. The first principle is to return control to where it belongs. Your power begins and ends with your choices, not outcomes, not other people, not circumstances. When you stop trying to control what is not yours to command, your mind immediately feels lighter. Much of modern anxiety comes from misplaced responsibility. You feel responsible for things you cannot govern, and powerless over things you actually can change. Resetting your life begins with restoring this balance. The second principle is to simplify your desires. The Stoics warned that the more you want, the more fragile you become. Desire ties your well-being to external conditions. When you need many things to go right in order to feel okay, peace becomes rare. Simplifying desire does not mean rejecting ambition. It means wanting wisely. Want what strengthens you, not what enslaves you. A calm mind is often the result of fewer unnecessary wants. The third principle is to accept reality as it is, not as you wish it were. Resistance to reality drains energy without changing the outcome. Acceptance, in the Stoic sense, is not resignation, it is clarity. When you see reality clearly, you can respond effectively. When you deny it, you suffer twice. Resetting your life requires the courage to stop arguing with what already exists. The fourth principle is to discipline your inner dialogue. You are always speaking to yourself, whether you notice it or not. The Stoics understood that thoughts shape emotions, and emotions influence actions. If your inner voice is harsh, fearful, or chaotic, your life will reflect that disorder. A reset begins by making your inner speech calmer, more rational, and more honest. You do not need to be cruel to improve. The fifth principle is to treat time as sacred. Time is the one resource you cannot store, borrow, or recover. The Stoics measured wealth not by possessions, but by how one used their time. Resetting your life often means re-examining where your hours go. What you repeatedly give time to becomes your life. This principle invites you to choose intentionally instead of spending time unconsciously. The sixth principle is to practice voluntary discomfort. Comfort can weaken you without you realizing it. The Stoics occasionally chose mild hardship to remind themselves that they could endure more than they thought. This was not self-punishment, it was preparation. When you remember that you can function without constant ease, fear loses its grip. A reset requires rebuilding trust in your own resilience. The seventh principle is to separate your worth from external validation. Praise feels good, criticism hurts, but neither defines you. When your sense of value depends on approval, you live reactively. The Stoics encouraged grounding self-worth in character instead of reputation. When you act according to your values, you remain stable regardless of applause or silence. The eighth principle is to expect difficulty, not to become pessimistic, but to remain steady. A life without obstacles does not exist. Expecting smoothness sets you up for frustration. Expecting challenge prepares you for composure. Resetting your life means changing your relationship with hardship. Instead of seeing it as an interruption, see it as part of the path. The ninth principle is to focus on effort, not outcome. Outcomes are influenced by factors beyond your control. Effort is not. The Stoics measured success by the quality of intention and action, not by results alone. When you commit to effort, you free yourself from constant disappointment. This principle brings peace because it aligns your standards with what you can actually deliver. The 10th principle is to act according to virtue, even when it is inconvenient. Wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control were central to Stoic life. These were not abstract ideas, but daily practices. Resetting your life involves recommitting to these qualities, especially when shortcuts tempt you. Integrity may cost you comfort, but it buys you self-respect. The 11th principle is to remember impermanence. Nothing you have is guaranteed to remain. Health, relationships, status, and opportunities can change without warning. The Stoics reflected on impermanence, not to feel anxious, but to feel awake. When you remember that things can be lost, you appreciate them more deeply and cling to them less desperately. The 12th principle is to choose calm over chaos. Calm is not weakness, it is strength under control. In a world that rewards outrage and impulsivity, calm becomes a competitive advantage. The Stoics trained themselves to pause before reacting. This pause creates space for reason. Resetting your life often begins with slowing your reactions. The 13th principle is to take responsibility without self-hatred. You are responsible for your actions, but you are not required to punish yourself endlessly for mistakes. The Stoics believed in learning, correcting, and moving forward. Guilt that leads to growth is useful. Guilt that paralyzes is not. A true reset includes self-forgiveness paired with accountability. The 14th principle is to live in alignment with nature. For the Stoics, this meant living according to reason, cooperation, and reality. Humans are social beings. Your reset is not only personal, but relational. Acting with fairness, patience, and respect strengthens both you and the community around you. A good life is rarely built in isolation. The 15th and final principle is to begin again each day. No matter what happened yesterday, today offers another opportunity to practice wisdom. The Stoics did not believe in a single moment of transformation. They believed in daily renewal. Resetting your life is not a one-time decision. It is a practice repeated quietly, consistently, and without applause. These principles are simple, but not easy. They require attention, discipline, and patience. Some days you will forget them. Some days you will ignore them. That does not mean you have failed. It means you are human. The reset happens not when you are perfect, but when you return. A fresh start does not come from changing everything around you. It comes from changing how you see, choose, and respond. When you anchor your life in what you can control, simplify what you desire, and act with quiet integrity, clarity follows. You do not need to wait for the right moment to begin again. This moment is enough. Carry these principles with you. Let them guide your decisions when things feel uncertain. Over time, without noise or drama, you will notice something shift. Your life will not be free of difficulty, but it will feel lighter, steadier, and more your own.